Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a full face of makeup products that I recently picked up from the Dollar Tree. A lot of these products I saw hauled in videos in other channels that I follow, but I hadn't seen any of these products in our stores here myself. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and while we do have a lot of Dollar Trees, we don't usually get all these really cool makeup products that I see other people haul in their Dollar Tree videos. As many of you know, I am an Uber driver, and sometimes if I'm able to take a break and I'm near a Dollar Tree, I'll just turn the app off, go offline, and then go check out the Dollar Tree and see what they have. And recently I was able to check out one that I hadn't been to in a long time, and they did have a lot of these makeup products that I had been seeing hauled in the video, so I was very excited about that. I went ahead and I grabbed a few products. I grabbed some products from Ardell. I didn't even know Ardell had a makeup line until I saw these products hauled in other people's videos. I grabbed the High Definition Camouflage Foundation. The shade is in dark 2.0 or 10.0 rather. Might be slightly dark. We're in the spring, going into the summer. I do get a lot more tan, so this may work out, but we're going to give this a try. Also from Ardell, I picked up the Vacay Mode Bronzer. This shade says Sex Glow Sunny Brown. That's literally what it says. Sex Glow Sunny Brown. So I grabbed a bronzer, and then I also grabbed one of the Photo Face concealers. This shade is in medium 5.5. One thing I noticed when I was looking at the display for the Ardell makeup products, a lot of the products were like in the deeper shades. They didn't really have anything in the lighter shades. The last thing that I specifically picked up from Ardell is the Attitude Adjuster. This is the shade FX Drops. The shade that I picked up is Golden Sheen. And basically what it says you can do with these is you can take them and like mix them in with your foundation to give yourself kind of a glowy, radiant finish to your foundation. And then you can also use it as a liquid highlighter. That's how we're going to be using it today. I do not mix, shiny products into my foundation. My skin is oily enough. So we're just going to be testing this out as a liquid highlighter. I grabbed a couple of products from Femme Couture. I've never heard of this brand before, but this is the Flawless Touch Eyeshadow Primer. And then I also grabbed a shiny liquid lipstick. This is the Color Drench Shiny Liquid Lipstick, and it's just a really pretty kind of a milky pink. There is no shade on this. I'm usually not into balms and glosses and products like that, but this just looked really pretty. I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. $1.25. Doesn't work out, I can always pass it on to my daughter. And then the last things that I picked up are from City Color. These are the matte lipsticks. I grabbed 2 shades. I think it's funny that this one says Tester on the side. But that's everything that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I will be incorporating some products that I currently already own, since I do not have a full face of products. So let's go ahead and jump into primer. We're going to be using this one from Dominique Cosmetics. This is the Blur and Moisture Serum Primer. I got this out of my recent BoxyCharm. This will be my first time using this. So it looks like it's a clear kind of a gel primer. Smelling fragrance. It says it's supposed to blur. It's not mattifying. Usually I prefer a mattifying primer, but we're testing out something new. Feels really good. I don't know if I'm saying in the blurring, but it does feel nice on the skin. So let's give these foundation drops a try. I'm going to take a little bit and pump it onto the back of my hand. I just kind of want to feel what the texture is like. Like I said, I didn't even know that Ardell had a makeup line until I saw these products hauled. That was the consistency. Okay, feels nice. Not too liquidy, not too creamy. Looks like there might be a decent amount of coverage, and that shade does not look too dark. So let's go ahead, throw this on our face. I'm just going to take some and pump it directly onto my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge here, and we're just going to start pouncing this onto our face. It's like a very kind of lightweight to medium consistency, but I'm definitely getting coverage. It looks like it might have a more of a glowy finish. It's definitely not matte. They did have a matte foundation, but all the shades were like super dark. I couldn't find one that was really going to match me. If they had a shade that would have matched, I would have just went ahead and bought both formulas and tried them both out. All right, that did not take much product at all. As you can see, it has completely covered my face. Slightly deep, but it just looks like I've had a lot of sun. The finish is actually really pretty. So far, we are off to a good start. So now we're going to give this concealer a try. So looks like it has a brush tip. So you just squeeze it and it should come out the brush. Okay, there you go. I do like this type of a component. It makes applying concealer really easy. I'm not going to use color corrector. Whenever I'm using a new concealer, I like to use it without color corrector so that I can see exactly how much coverage I'm getting from it. That is a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be, but it should work out fine. The foundation is a little bit darker, so this should help kind of even everything out. Take my sponge and just start blending it in. It's definitely a lot lighter than I thought, but it should definitely add a little bit of brightness to my face as well. So let me tell you guys about my crazy flat tire on the interstate experience that I had yesterday. Ooh, that looks good. It's nice. It's kind of a not super thick, but a little bit thicker consistency. It's blending out really well, but it's also giving me really good coverage. Ooh, that is nice. So as I mentioned, I am an Uber driver. And in my 4 years of off and on rideshare, I've done both Lyft and Uber. I have never had an experience where my car broke down, I got a flat tire, anything like that while I had a rider in the car. Well, yesterday, I was on my second to last ride. If you're from Memphis, then you'll know which street I'm talking about. I was on the interstate I-240 north, right before the exit 29, which is the Lamar exit. And I'm driving along, everything's going along just fine. You know, that is looking really, really good. Considering the fact that each one of these products was $1.25, it looks really nice. It's blending out really well. My under eyes are just looking nice and bright. I'm getting coverage. So far, so good. I do not have a face powder that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to throw on my AOA Studio Perfect Setting Powder. This is from Shop Miss A. The shade is in Banana. So I'm just going to go ahead and set everything down with this. So I'm just driving along, everything's going fine, and then all of a sudden I noticed that the tire pressure gauge, or on my dashboard, the indicator lets me know if my tires are low. For the front driver's side, the left side and the front, all of a sudden it says the tire is low. I go to check it. At first I was thinking, oh, maybe something just happened. It's just a slow leak. I can get my riders to where they need to be and then go ahead and check the tire, because I was only about 5 minutes away from dropping my riders off. But when I go to check the pressure, it's at 17 and then just dropping drastically. Then all of a sudden, that's it. The tire is flat. I have to pull over to the side while the riders are in the car. Thankfully, we were right before an exit, so they were able to just kind of walk off and go to this gas station that was right there to call for another Uber, because I couldn't get an Uber to come out to specifically where we were. Thankfully, I have pretty decent insurance. I have Liberty Mutual, so I went ahead and I called for roadside assistance. I was not like in the best spot, but I was hoping that maybe they would be able to go ahead and change the tire, so I called for, the roadside assistance to come fix the tire. I went ahead and did my brows off camera real quick. I'm just using my LA Color eyeliner and brow pencil in dark brown. You can also find this at the Dollar Tree. It's usually that long, but as you can see, I've almost used this baby up. Let's go on ahead and throw on our Ardell Vacay Mode Bronzer in Sex Glow Sunny Brown. This looks like it's going to be more of a neutral, cool tone. Usually I like something that's a little bit more peachy, a little bit more warm, but I think I'm going to focus on just kind of the top half. There are two shades in this bronzer. This top half looks a little bit more neutral peachy, at least in person or camera. It looks a little more cool, but that's the shade that we're going to try out. So back to my being stuck on the side of the road waiting for someone to come and change the tire. So I've been waiting for about 30 minutes. This young man pulls up and, in the little safety vehicles, and I told him that I was waiting for road hazard. He said that he can go ahead and change the tire. Now, mind you, I am pretty close to the interstate, so I was a little bit concerned, but he said that he could do it. So he starts changing it. I go ahead and I tell my husband to contact, the person that's on their way from roadside assistance and let them know that we no longer need them to come. Well, he shows up anyway. This is kind of an older black man, comes over, and I don't know if he's just having a bad day, but he was rude as hell. I mean, he was just disrespectful and rude to me. He's like, ma'am, he's not going to be able to fix the tire, which is fine. I have no issue with that. And he goes, your best bet, you're going to just have to go ahead and call a tow truck because it's too close. It's not going to be safe. We're not going to be able to fix the tire. And I said, okay, so I've already been waiting 45 minutes for you guys to come and change the tire. You can't do it, so now I got to call a tow truck. And he's like, well, ma'am, it's not our problem that you're over here. We didn't do this. This is not. I'm like, okay, oh, you know what, sir? I understand that, but there is no reason for you to be just so rude and disrespectful. All right. He tells the young man, that it's just not safe. So we're, not to change the tire. And that's fine. I'm more annoyed about the fact that when I had the original dude on the phone, I told him exactly where I was located. He knew where I was. He could have told me on the phone, you're too close to the road. It's not safe. Go ahead and call a tow truck. All right. This bronzer is blending out really nice too. Wow. So far, Ardell, you are 3 for 3. I am impressed. For blush, I'm going to be using also from AOA Studios. This is one of their blush, Color Flush liquid blushes. This is one of my favorite formulas. The shade is in Cedarwood, not Cedarwood, Redwoods. This is one that we're going to be using, and then we're going to test out this highlighter. So anyway, I contact roadside assistance back to have them send the tow truck. And what I was wanting and hoping that I could do was once the tow truck arrived, they could just pull the car off the interstate someplace safe and then go ahead and change the tire. I called the tow people, the company that's actually, where the tow truck is actually coming, the one that my insurance sent to come and tow the car. And I asked them if that was possible, and they said yes. We just need to have the insurance company add that on, so it's not just a tow, but a tow and change flat tire. So we're trying to call my insurance. First of all, it takes them forever to finally get onto the phone. I explain everything, and they're like, okay, well, let me call the tow company so we can go ahead and get that arranged and set up so that that's added on to it. Well, the agent is on the phone, and she's calling and calling and calling, and she cannot get the tow company on the phone. So she says whenever they arrive, just have them go on ahead and call them so that they can add it on there. So we're like, cool beans. All right, cool. Now at this point, I've been sitting here for 2 hours already. I absolutely love this blush. It's so freaking pretty. Pretty kind of a champagne gold. So then my husband starts to call the tow company back to let them know what the insurance says. After calling and calling and calling, oh, that's pretty. Do you see how that just blended in? Wow, that's pretty. We finally get them on the phone, but they explain that they're not going to be able to call the insurance company directly because they're through like a third party or something like that. So we'd have to call the insurance company back and have them do it. So call the insurance company back. That is just so pretty. That blended in so easily. Whoa. You guys, so far these Ardell products, I haven't had a single one of these products I tested specifically from Ardell that I have not loved. They have performed beautifully. What I'm going to do next is go ahead and throw on this eyeshadow primer. The shade is in Nude. I didn't notice that there are shade numbers on the eyeshadow primer when I got it. So I don't know if there was more than one shade that was there. I just grabbed the eyeshadow primer and put it in my basket. Ooh, that is light. Ooh, hopefully it's a little more sheer and not like super pigmented. I don't need a super pigmented shade. Okay, that's good. It's just, it blends right on out, so my eyelids are not going to be white. That's good. It is a little bit oily in the way that it feels. I might have to like leave this on and let it set down. I call my insurance company. We talk to them, explain everything. They add it on. We had to like change the drop off since we were just going to have them change the tire. They said they put a note in there. Everything should be fine. We called the tow company back because we want to make sure that everything is updated in their system. She goes to look it up and it's not in their system. They're telling me that I need to call my insurance company back and make sure that it's put in. So we call the insurance company back. Finally get an agent on the phone, and I'm explaining, they're saying that it's not showing up on their end. They're like, well, it's showing up when we put it in. It's been put in twice. I am going to put it back in at the very top in capital letters so they can make sure that they see that it is in there. All right, so finally, that's situated. Lids seem to be set down pretty decently. There was like a slight oiliness when I was applying it, but I'm not really feeling it now. And just overall, you guys, my skin is looking really, really good. This combination of products from Ardell, it's really, really nice so far. But let's go on ahead, do eyeshadow. I do not have an eyeshadow that I picked up from the Dollar Tree either, but I thought this would be a good time to test out my Athr Beauty Palette. This is the Desert Sunset Palette. I got this at a BoxyCharm. This was my choice for May, and you guys, I have yet to actually be able to pull this out and try it out, so this is going to be my first time. This is what our color story is looking like. I'm not particularly wowed by this color story, and I have heard like so many mixed reviews of the Athr Beauty formula. Some people say it's really good, some people say it's kind of patchy, it's not very good, so we're going to kind of test it out today and see what this is going to be like. I thought this was really cute. They included this little card. It has a unicorn on the front. And then on the back, there's like this little saying. I think I'm going to pass this on to my daughter. I know she would really love this, but we're going to go ahead and throw together a quick look. I think I'm going to stick with these, like the greens and the browns on the outside. So we're going to lay this shade down first. It's not like super smooth as far as the formula is concerned, but we're going to give this a try. I'm just going to use this fluffy brush from Beauty Bay, to lay the shade down. It's a really grungy, kind of an olive taupe green. I love shades like that. So about 20 minutes later, the tow truck driver calls me. He asked me where I'm at, and I explained that to him, and he said, okay. I told him, you know, I'm I-240 North, facing downtown, right before the exit for 29 Lamar. About 15 minutes later, he calls me back. He's like, ma'am, I can't find you. I don't see you. And I'm like, well, I'm right here on the side of the road, like right before the exit. I'm looking at the exit. He said, okay, there's Getwell and there's Lamar. I'm off of Lamar. I don't see you. And I said, oh, okay. Now, if you're in Memphis, you know. There's actually 2 exits for Lamar. Where Getwell and Lamar is, that's on the other end of Lamar, and then you have towards downtown Lamar, which is exit 29 off of I-240 North, which is where I was. And I explained that to him, and he's like, oh, okay. So he gets off the phone. 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, he hasn't shown up yet. Now, based on where he is, he should only be about 20 minutes away. 30 minutes later, he still hasn't shown up yet. All right, that shade actually blended on really well. I don't know if it's the formula or if it was the eyeshadow primer, but no issues whatsoever with that shade. I'm going to take this brush from Blend Bunny, and we are going to go into the kind of brownish shade here. I think this one I want to take on the outside corner, so we're going to go into this. There are no shade names in the front. The shade names are on the back. The first shade that I put on this one, that is Desert Sands, and then this shade is Sedona. So we're going to put this one in the crease, and then this shade, which is called Mesquite, is the one that we're going to put on the outer corner. All right, so at this point, I'm starting to get concerned because he hasn't shown up. He hasn't called. So I call the tow truck driver back, and he goes, oh, because I thought you were like over on this end, but you're actually off of South Parkway. So I'm going to take South Parkway and exit off there. Now, if you exit off South Parkway, you're literally 5 minutes from where I'm sitting. You're like 5 minutes from the Lamar exit. And this shade is beautiful. Oh, this is pretty. Ooh, I like that tone. Now we're going to go ahead and take that deeper shade, Mesquite, into the outer corner. It was funny, though, because when he told me that he was going to take the South Parkway exit, that's when I was like, especially after we kind of went back and forth, and he kept saying he didn't know where I was, and I had to explain to him he was on the wrong side of Lamar. He clearly does not know the city very well, because all he had to do was stay on the interstate where he was and just come around I-240 South and then get on I-240 North and come, and I was right there. But what he did was he got off the interstate and then took a roundabout way to get to South Parkway so he could exit on the interstate from South Parkway, which was like the long roundabout hard way. So clearly he doesn't know the city very well. But he finally found me. He hooked the car up. We pulled it to a gas station right off the interstate. He put the spare tire on, and I was finally on my way. You guys, this was an ordeal. I was literally sitting on the side of the road for like almost 4 hours, going back and forth to the insurance company, the tow truck, trying to make sure that the guy could change the tire as well, because it just didn't make any sense for me to have the car towed all the way back across town to a shop, because that was the only other option, or towed to my house when all I needed was to have a spare put on the tire, which is the whole reason why I have roadside assistance in the first place. So basically today, after I finish doing this video, I'm going to drop my daughter off at a friend's house. They're going to go to a little anime Comic Con, and then I'm going to take my car to Discount Tire, which is where, because I got 4 brand new tires put on my car like 2-3 months ago, and I do have road hazards, so we're gonna get this tire situation taken care of. All right, I already know that I want to put on this beautiful sagey green shade right there. That is called Golden Hour. So we're gonna put this on and then probably go into this really pretty icy shade here. That shade is called Twilight. So far, I'm not having an issue with this palette. Like I said, I've seen like mixed reviews. Some people say they really love the Athr Beauty formula, and others say they don't, and that is so pretty. I thought I might have to wet the brush, but wow, that looks really pretty. It's super shiny. It's just going on very smooth and wet looking. That is pretty. Wow. Brush that had that middle shade. No added product. I just want to blend out the edges like we do, so we have no harsh lines. I'm going to take this angled brush. This is one of my Shop Miss A AOA Studio brushes, and we're going to go back to this kind of olive taupe green and lay that on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take my smallest Blend Bunny brush and we're going to go into Twilight and lay that in my inner corner. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and test out this LA Colors Shimmer Eyeliner. You know, I did that full face of makeup from LA Colors, some new makeup from LA Colors in another video. And this was one of the shimmer pencils that I wanted to test out. The green one I didn't really like that much. This shade is called Glamorous. It's more of a copper gold. If it works, it'll be pretty with this look. So I just want to go ahead and test this out real quick. Starting next week, I'm going to start filming my declutters, and I'm going to start with eyeliner. Although I know that's not going to get a lot of views, but it needs to be done. I have so many ones that are just dried out and need to go. And then we're just going to do, you know, full collection and declutter. Do my summer series. I do have some products I do need to kind of move out of the collection. So I'm going to start filming those next week. So towards the end of the month, going into July, you'll start seeing those videos. Yeah, it's barely there. This formula overall is just not very good. All right, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to throw on liner and some lashes, and then we will come back and test out some of these lip products. I just threw in a pair of my Demi Wispy Lashes from Ardell. Ironically, I did not plan that. I did not plan to use my Ardell lashes because I was using Ardell makeup products. But yeah, that's a coincidence. That just happened to be what happened here. But I do like these little Demi Wispies. I think they're really, really pretty. And you guys, so far, really liking how my face is looking. This is looking so smooth. Everything is just working well together. Let's go ahead and move on to the lips, and then I'll just kind of give my final thoughts wrapped up at the end. First thing I'm going to do, because I just want to test this out. This is not going to be the shade that I'm actually going to wear all day, but I do want to test this formula out. I'm actually going to throw on one of these lipsticks as my color for the day. No fragrance. It's kind of sticky. It does have a really pretty kind of a milky tone to it. It's slightly sticky, but it's not uncomfortable. It's not like overly sticky. It's actually not a bad formula, and it actually kind of looks pretty on my lips. Like I said, I grabbed two of the City Color lipsticks. They're in shades 29 and 27. 29 is more of a pink. Let me go ahead and swatch these real quick. It says that they are a matte. Yeah, that is definitely a matte. That's pretty. It's a really pretty pinky shade. And then this is shade 27. 27 is more of a coppery orange kind of a shade. This is the one that I'm going to put on to go with this look. Oh, that's pretty. Look at, oh, that is pretty. That is going to go beautiful with this look. I'm going to go ahead, take off this gloss, line my lips, and then we'll throw on this lip color. You guys, that shade is absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I have any lipsticks, like in lipstick form, that's like in this particular tone. That is so pretty. So overall, final thoughts. I have to say this is probably the very first video ever that I've done using makeup products that I picked up at the Dollar Tree where every single product worked for me. There was not a single one that did not. The primer that I use is from Dominique Cosmetics. This didn't come from the Dollar Tree. This is more of a glowier formula, but it looks really, really beautiful under this foundation. The Ardell Camerflage foundation. This went on so smooth. Gave me really nice coverage, but as you can see, it is looking very, very skin-like. And this shade actually blended in really beautifully. The Ardell Photo Face Concealer. This was a really, really beautiful formula. I really liked the packaging with the little brush. Makes it easy to apply. The bronzer blended beautifully. I mean, it just gives me a very natural bronzy glow. There are two shades in here. I've focused on the top shade and it just looks beautiful. The highlighter drops, also gorgeous. These are the Attitude Adjuster Shade FX drops. You can mix this in with your foundation, or you can use a liquid highlighter. I will never be mixing this into my foundation as I have oily skin, but as a highlighter, it is stunning. Like, it just gives me this really pretty glossy kind of radiant wet look to my cheek. There's no micro glitters or anything in it. It is absolutely just gorgeous. What else did we pick up from the Dollar Tree? The eyeshadow primer. This is beautiful. This is the Flawless Touch Eye Primer from Femme Couture. It was slightly oily when I first applied it, but then it set down just really, really smooth. The shade is Nude, but it doesn't like sit on the eyelid white. It actually just blended right out. Very, just really, really pretty. I really liked the way this went on. Another new product that I tested out that didn't come from the Dollar Tree is the Athr Beauty Desert Sunset Palette, which I got out of my BoxyCharm. This was beautiful. This is my first time ever using an Athr Beauty formula. Like I mentioned before, I've seen so many mixed reviews on them, but I didn't have a single issue with this palette. The mattes blended out beautifully. The shimmers just, oh my god, they're so wet looking. I didn't even have to wet my brush. This palette was a definite hit, at least the shades that I did use. I'll have to like try it out some more and see what else, see what I think about it, trying out some of the other shades and formulas in the palette, but the ones that I did try were stunning. And then the last things that we tried out today were the lip products. The Color Drenched Shiny Liquid Lipstick from Femme Couture. That's the same brand that the eyeshadow primer came from. This was actually really nice. I put it on first. I just kind of wanted to see what the formula was like. It was slightly sticky, but not overly sticky. It wasn't like horrible as far as some of the gloss formulas that I have tried previously from the Dollar Tree. This one was actually not bad, and the shade is a really pretty soft milky pink, really pretty for this time of year. And then the last thing that I tested out were these lipsticks from City Color. I might go back and grab a couple more of these. I'm always seeing these in a Dollar Tree. I grabbed two shades, shades 27 and 29. The shade that I'm using is shade 27, and you guys, it's just so pretty. I do not have anything like this as far as this shade and this tone in my collection, and the formula feels very, very comfortable. I don't think it's going to be like transfer resistant or anything like that, but just from first impressions, I'm liking this in $1.25. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help with the channel. If you're new to my channel, you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider joining my family and hitting subscribe, and make sure you tap the notification bell so you get notified of any videos coming up in the future. You can also follow me on my other socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.